The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. He missed the complete that. He's crazy.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Every 13 weeks, the SRF Big Grid returns to iRacing, and all the action from green flag to victory donuts will be brought to you live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing channel and iRacing Live. High in the sky, looking down on Road Atlanta here in Brazelton, Georgia, we bring you today's action. Hello, Hotlanta, and welcome to another GSRC broadcast. I'm Sean Ambrose. Joining me in the booth to call the action today is the man from over there, Mr. Jake Sperry. Twisting and tweaking the dials is the hardest working man in sim racing broadcasting, our director, Joe Peak, and at his disposal will be the camera locations provided by the renowned Dougie Beard. Jake, the organizer's stated idea for this event is simple. Put 60 spec racer Fords on a track with plenty of passing opportunities, and you will have race-long, side-by-side racing. Road Atlanta is where we get it done today, and it looks like another big field has made it to bring us the action. Talk about this track here at Road Atlanta a little bit, Jake.
Certainly will. Thank you for having me in the commentary booth. A difficult circuit, 12 turns, just a shade over 2.5 miles, and a very difficult undulating circuit. A tight and technical opening section of circuit here, dealing with the lefts and rights before you head up the big, difficult left-hander of turn number 6 on circuit. A couple of right-handers before a big opportunity down a very long back straight will give you the biggest chance of overtaking into 10A and also 10B as well. There's a lot of opportunity around this circuit here, Sean, and I have to tell you, it is going to be one of those circuits where down on the driver's eye view, it's going to be one of those ones where everyone will be looking out for the opportunities and looking 4 or 5 into the mirror. And to give you that sort of recommendation, a lap guide in the GSRC machine there. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, then a lap around Road Atlanta.
All right, we've got Amjad Yammer in the GSRC SRF, so let's do a lap around Road Atlanta. Coming down to turn 1, this is a fast sweeping corner, and with the lift throttle oversteer, you've got to be very careful not to lose the rear end. Use the compression to give you grip as you climb up the steep hill, and then swing out a little bit to give yourself a better line into turn 3. This blind and very tricky corner requires you to be brave and precise over the inside curb to be fast. Take too much and you can spin the car, or get a cut course penalty. Hold tight to the left through 4, and then we'll plunge down through the S's. It's flat to the floor through these, and ideally you'll want to line yourself up on the right for the braking into 5. This corner has ruined more races than I can count with its compression at turn-in and crest at the exit. The car can do some screwy things and the walls are dangerously close on either side. Drift the car back to the left and spot your brake marker for turn 6. In the underpowered spec racer, there's not much braking into this turn, meaning it's less of a viable overtaking spot. But as always, use the banking to carry your momentum up the hill. From there, you're quickly into the critical turn 7. The exit of this slow right-hander will reward you if you can get on the power sooner than your rivals. That's because it dumps us onto the long, long backstretch of Road Atlanta. The draft in these little cars will bring everyone back together, but the more speed you can give yourself, the more likely you'll be able to defend. Regardless, expect slipstreaming and all the strategy that comes with it to play a big role in how the race unfolds. Even if they don't pass you on the straight, the last chicane offers an excellent opportunity to outbrake your opponent. Get the car to the right, throw out the anchors, and get it turned into the apex. Because the track switches back, drivers can sometimes defend from the outside. Momentum off the corner is also a thing to worry about, because if you're on the last lap, it can wind up being a drag race to the line. Over the hill, you've just got to brave it out through the final corner, and you've now finished a lap around Road Atlanta.
And that is a ride around Road Atlanta, nestled into the countryside here of beautiful state of Georgia. Jake, drivers have come from all over the world to get into this race today and represent just about iRacing division there is. It won't be hard to find one of your favorite drivers on track today, but talk to us a little bit about the details of the race for those of us joining us for the first time for one of these big grid races today.
Well, the thing that you have to remember right now, we're currently in 20-minute open session qualifying. The times will be allowed as you cross the line. When the checkered flag falls, there will be one lap. You can finish your current lap as you go. It will also mean that we have slipstream available here. Drivers getting draft, trying to get that lap time up as quickly as they possibly can. This spec racer Ford, very difficult to work with here. A very wide and difficult vehicle, but certainly can take a lot of hits. 40 minutes distance, no pit stops required here because of the unrestricted fuel, and with open setups as well, you will have to remember that some people may have the technical nuance over other drivers. There will be fast repairs, but the moment you get fast repairs, you know you are falling back through the field, and pretty much your chance of victory will be all but dashed. Weather very cold though, that's something that you need to remember here. Realistic conditions are being applied into this one, and with a very cloudy, overcast conditions right now, that track is very cold and tyres are going to be a very difficult thing to deal with. No passing until turn 1, that's going to be something that everyone is going to have to adhere to at some stage during this race. That is going to be something that may play a factor in the opening stages here, Sean.
Yes, indeed, and lots of big names in today's race, Jake. There's lots of drivers have found victory lane before. Let's talk about some of those guys. I mean, guys like James King from UKNI, Danil Menenkov from Michigan, Eero Nam, Central Eastern Europe, Wyatt Gooden, professional driver in here. You see some of these names in here. Who stands out at you?
Well, Wyatt Gooden, first and foremost, has to stick your name out right now there at number 17. Always up there. Did very well in 12-hour Sebring the other day. And while there are certain few names here and there who are looking out and are starting to catch my eye. Fraser Williamson in the 073 machine. He loves this car. He absolutely loves driving that spec racer. We'll see how close he can get to towards the end of this one. You also got to look at your pole sitter as well in the form of Dominic Brennan. He's doing a good job. And here's my outside pick for the day. Number 20 of Kartik Pai can certainly find himself a great turn of pace, known very well across the community for getting himself a very good race pace.
Yeah, and just a quick correction on the race details. We said there were unlimited fast repairs. There's actually only 2 fast repairs today, so you will have to take care of the car throughout this 40-minute race. It is a sprint. It's a 40-minute sprint, but this track presents a lot of challenges, and 2 fast repairs, if you're just hanging it on the ragged edge every lap, may not be enough. So be careful out there, boys. There's a couple of long shots here. I know the organizer, Steve Ray, had talked about not feeling well earlier. His back is acting up on him, but Steve, a pretty good shoe himself, could have an outside chance if he finds the health to make it. Some interesting names in the field. Claudio Ferrari from Italy. What do you think about that, Jay?
Well, I think it's going to be an interesting one to see how both of them do right now. Just looking at drivers here, someone could come up from, the rear of the field and get themselves through. Ferrari and Ray are 28th and 29th respectively right now, and both find themselves about 2 seconds off the pace. So whether we'll see that happen, we don't know. We don't know how everyone's going to be fighting throughout the opening stretches, and we don't know how that will play coming on into the later halves of this race. So, you're finding some drivers here and some drivers there who can really, put a turn of pace in potentially, but most of it may come down to chance for drivers further back in the field, as they may have to rely on incidents further ahead in the field, Sean.
And you talk about the field, we have 55 drivers entered today. We've got 44 currently here, only just a couple of minutes left in this qualifying session, and then we get to go racing. In fact, I see the checkered flag is out on the session now, so I guess that means they've got to finish these laps, right, Jake?
Yeah, they've got to finish the lap that they're on. They've got to hope that their lap is good enough, and they'll be hoping that there's some draft to help each other out right here as they go through. The times are pretty much going to be coming in, looking to try and get that one sorted. The current leader here in this session is going to pull off to the side and say, no, I'm not going to get that lap time done any better than I am right now. Everyone dropping it down onto pit road right now. And that's actually something that's going to play a factor here. This pit road very difficult as well, where you're moving forward. Brennan pretty much unchallenged right now as things currently stand here, Sean. So for the moment, Brennan's done a great job in the 2-1-2.
Yeah, and he was not even one of the faster ones in the open practice they had about here over the last hour or so. And boy, that's a pretty impressive time. Nobody gets down to the 135s in this qualifying session. Little less humidity here in the qualifying session than they had in the unofficial practice session. About 69% humidity. Track was a little bit slick in the open practice session. I wonder if we'll see maybe that. I think grip is going to be a premium today, Jake. It doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of it.
No, there isn't, and I've seen few drivers getting themselves caught out in difficult situations. I've seen Noms turn the car around. I've seen Williamson turn the car around. I've seen about 5 or 6 drivers lose it in certain areas on the circuit. Turn 2, turn 3. That's going to be a really difficult area as people try and hit the brakes on cold tyres for the first time. But by the looks of things, that's pretty much everyone done in their qualifying. Maybe Bernardo, the only other driver who hasn't set a lap, and maybe Santurnio as well. So, everyone almost pretty much done right now, and the grid seems pretty much secure.
Well, going to be an exciting one today. This is a huge field. It always is for these big grid races, and just a rich tradition here on iRacing over the past several years, and with the Global Sim Racing channel. And we're just so happy to be back on the broadcast with him here again today. Folks, if you haven't seen one of these races before, please don't step far away from the big screen or the computer, wherever you're at. Stay close to this one because you don't want to miss a second. Let's go to the grid now. And on the pole, Dominic Brennan, the UK&I driver, with a great lap. Evan Merrill going to be second. Jonathan Madden third. Yannick Chauvin fourth. Aero Nome fifth. Sixth is going to go to Danil Menenkov. Jason Perry, 7th. Wyatt Gooden, going to be 8th. 9th, going to go to Philippe Farinelli. And rounding out your top 10, Ronnie Dudek.
Bastian Raymond then will start in 11th position. Joining him on row 6 will be Bob Battalla in the 100. Fraser Williamson there in 13th. He has Clark Williams alongside in 14th, with Pepe Vasquez Martinez in 15th, joined with Kartik Pai. David Streeter there in 17th position. Alex Albert there in 18th. Philippe Chauvin there in 19th position. Don't know whether the two Chauvins be brothers or not, but it's Christopher Horton who rounds out 20 drivers.
All right, and then 21st, Julien Chauvin from France, and Rob Fear is going to start right next to him there in 22nd. Nicolas Souza, 23rd. 24th, going to go to Paul Lindsay from Canada. Claudio Ferrari going to start 25th, just alongside him in 26th. Francesco Bernardo, a couple of Italians there starting together on the grid. Tim Seidel, 27th. 28th, going to go to Angelo Fiorino. Steve Ray going to start 29th. And rounding out your 30 so far here on the grid, Edward Doherty.
Keith Walsh then will start from 31st. Sammy Follett's there in 32nd with Don Brooks and Steve O'Malley making 33 and 34. James King there is 35th with a time of 1:39.380. Flavio Santonino there will start 36th. Telmo Amaral there in 37th with Gary Kyle. Brett Troson starts 39th with Keith Finley in 40th.
All right, and the last four on the grid, Michael Groom, Gary Wolbut, Travis Trussell, and Mika Eshouse starting all the way at the back of the field.
Yeah, and you certainly see here just how everyone is dealing with that. Mika Eshouse surprisingly out of position then, you could say, could make the inroads then going through the field and might be able to get up to a top 10, but one lap to green then here, Sean. It's a very interesting lap to green here. It gives the drivers a chance, to have a little bit of a feeler here about how the car's going to handle around certain areas of the circuit.
Well, it's going to be very, very dicey. That trip down into turn one, Jake, is going to be quite a thing to watch here when we get going, because when that pace car peels off, they get heading down there, that right-hander back up the hill, side by side. The cars are going to be everywhere, exploring every bit of real estate, and there's plenty of real estate down there in turn one to get into. So if you get a little trouble there early, you at least got a chance to survive and get back up on the track.
Yeah, you do, and that's the thing here. You got 40 minutes on time, and it's not based on set laps, so you do have yourself an element of being able to work back and get yourself back through the field. It's not a case of it's all going to be said and done in stone. Everyone, I think, is going to probably make a mistake or two somewhere on circuit, be it minor or major, so it'll be about who can keep themselves coolest. We didn't really talk about Evan Merrill, though, who's lining up in second here. A very established driver, did very well in the Petit Le Mans last year and knows this Road Atlanta circuit very well. So Evan Merrill could be a very, very key shout then as he starts from the front row.
Yeah, it could definitely be one of those dark horses today, running in the huge ass, number 24 there, Evan Merrill. But Dominic Brennan going to get him started from the point. And they head down this long straightaway section of the track here, Jake. This is where we'll see a little bit of drafting, a little bit of slingshotting going on this afternoon in these SRFs.
Yeah, you certainly are. The prime overtaking space is down into 10A or 10B as well. And that's the key here about this circuit. It's downhill in this section before you hit this chicane. Braking is tested even more than other braking areas with a similar sort of nature. And as they're looking to come to green here, Sean, favourite's got to be Brennan off the line. No overtaking until turn one.
Still getting through turn one, gonna be the key, coming downhill into that fast right-hander, a sweeping right-hander. Here we go, the pace car is off. Brennan gonna get him started, green flag is out. Brennan off to a nice start. Merrill gets left behind there. Brennan got Medeiros just behind him, stepping out. Jonathan Madden stepping out there in the middle, 3 wide down into turn one.
And it all looks perfect here. It checks up well. They all keep themselves there nicely line astern. They head into turn number 3, and you can see here they're just trying to find it. Yeah, we do, and it's a big, big incident. Wyatt Gooden involved in that one there, so one of the favourites getting themselves out of the way early on, and it's not what you want. It causes pandemonium, but everyone pretty much safe through that one. Still got side-by-side here with the likes of Sebastian Raymond.
Yeah, several cars off in that there, back just behind the top 10. But Dominic Brennan off to a great start, is opened up about a half a second on Jonathan Madden and Evan Merrill.
I mean, that's what he's got to do right now. So when he gets himself away, he needs to find about a second. Half a second won't do too much at the moment, but you got to remember, Madden now will be under pressure from Merrill behind, as you can see, even now, 4th and 5th. Nom under pressure from Manenkov then, who will look to go side by side, and he will have the draft of Merrill trying to do exactly the same maneuver. And you can see here, they're stuck 111 miles an hour. These cars don't go quick in top speed, but they do make up for it in the corners here. And you can see down onto the brakes they're going to go. Merrill's going to take it down to the inside, so is Manenkov, and they're going to sort themselves out nicely, boys, there as they head to the end of the first lap, Sean.
Yeah, they did sort themselves out real well there, and a good job getting through. Merrill gets himself up to second. Madden back to third. But that first lap complete, and it's going to be Brennan across. Your leader, Merrill starting to make a run at him here down into turn 1. Up the hill, it's still Merrill right on the bumper of Brennan.
I mean, he's looking and looking, and he just can't quite find it at the moment here, and that's going to be the issue. Train of 5 then here as they start the second lap, so they're all looking to try and jostle for position, look to try and find that small little weakness here, and I think Merrill's in good position then to overtake here for the race lead, but this is the problem they all have. They're relying on someone to make a mistake or relying on an incredible turn of pace to break away from this one here, because they can all pretty much run each other in the draft, and nobody can really break away here, Sean.
Okay, now things have settled just a bit. I want to go back to the start and see the cars that got involved here on that mishap heading down. So I think that was in the S's there where they started to get mixed up. In turn 3. Give us just a second here. We'll get it up on the replay here for you. Yeah, there we go on screen there. Wyatt gets around off track. The 44 gets off track. Oh, we got big action on track actually. One more look from above. You'll see the contact here. Three wide. And just a clip on the left rear. Cars around off the track. You get behind early on one of these, hard to recover. Let's get back live to the action because Merrill's taking over the lead. Errol Noam finds himself up in second. Dominic Brennan now back to third. They were 3 wide there, Jake.
Yeah, they certainly were, and it was a big shifty that everyone had, and the issue that was going on there, they were 3 wide coming in, they sorted themselves out. It was Madden who was stuck on the apex of 10B, and he couldn't get himself going out over again, so that caused a little bit of confusion between the drivers, made it a train of 6. Joining onto the back of this train now is Yannick Chauvin then, getting himself back into it, and now Jason Perry starting to close then. There's these little battles going on, a second train here developing as well, the likes of Nicholas Sousa there, Clark Williams getting himself in on that one there, so they're all there close, all looking to battle, all pretty much here looking in the tow right now, and there's a lot of bump drafting going on. Merrill now under threat, Nom to the race lead.
Yeah, this top 6 is it's been an adventure in drafting right now, and a little bit of passing and working together, and again side by side they head down into 10B. Oh, everybody just barely makes it through. 3 wide.
Oh, and Merrill gets stuck in the middle and has to give room to Menenkov, who just tried to slip one down the inside, and he will take that position as well. Just not able, though, to get himself back into line there against Jonathan Madden. Let's go 2 wide, 2 deep then, down into turn number 1, and now up the hill they'll try and climb. Nom will hold it for the moment. He took the defensive line, but they're holding each other up right now. That's what they can't afford to do in this situation. It's pack racing, but, you know, you can't take these liberties, and the problem that I'm seeing right now is that driver there in second position, Dominic Brennan. He's just being too much of a risk right now, and he's going for every gap that opportunity arises for him.
And a mistake by Merrill gets Jonathan Madden by there. I just want to keep saying John Madden. Battle for the lead, though, is back on. Noam and Brennan going at it. Brennan, give it to Brennan on the inside. Noam fighting back.
Yeah, I don't like the move, though, here, because that's just going to allow sitting duck, then vRunoffs to try and get himself back past here. And now that train just grows and grows and grows here, and nobody really getting that ability to break away as they all look to fight. They've got to pseudo-battle in these early stages. Make sure they try and shed some of the dead weight that won't want to put in an effort at the front of the field. He's going to have to go all the way to the inside then. Let's go 3 wide, and there's going to be a bit of a push then from the driver in 4th position as well. Now you can see just how it all shuffles up. Menenkov on the outside, Nom on the inside. Nom will have that run, and he will hold the position for the moment, able to take that apex the way he'd like to, and Menenkov then holds on to second, but half a second, a little bit more, gets there, tap from behind in 6th.
Yeah, Yannick Chauvin gets just a little bit of a tap. But, Jake, you said it just a moment ago, this party is getting bigger. Add Jason Perry to the names of cars hopping in line. Bob Batala and Ronnie Dudek just back there in 8th and 9th, and they're closing in on the party now, too.
Yeah, they certainly are, and everyone's looking to try and find themselves a way through here or there. There's a few moves and shakers I'd like to give a hand out, as there was Evan Merrill trying everything to get himself down the inside. Now Chauvin wants a piece of the action here. Want to give a shout out to the driver, Nicholas Salzer, in the 707 machine. Actually, as you say that, big incident, Carthic Pie involved, car on its roof as well there. I believe that it's Alex Albert there, who's there in 11th position. He gets himself into all forms issues, and that does not look like a pretty vehicle anymore.
Yeah, no, Albert up on his top there. The huge ass machine goes for a wild ride here. Coming up the hill.
Oh, as you say that, Madden's turned around as well down at turn number 8 there. So he's managed to lose it on that second right-hander, and he has to get himself back going. He's out of the main group.
Boy, Alex Albert going for a really, really wild ride there. That car destroyed now. Still trying to get his way around back to the pit. Battle for the lead going on back up front, Jake.
Yeah, they certainly are, and well, Evan Merrill has gone as well, so Merrill's been involved in an incident here. It's now a train of 3 then, as back to the front of the field then goes the driver of Dominic Brennan right now, and we said that group was getting a bit too big. We've seen a big incident there, and it's caused 2 cars to fall off the back of this one. It was a train of 7, now only a train of 3.
Yeah, and, you know, Madden's trouble, just going back real quick and checking on what happened to him when he was in 4th place, he just lost it. Now finds himself in 8th. That was a self-spin by Madden. Doesn't make any contact with anybody. But now he finds himself dropped back to the 11th spot, fighting his way back up through the field, trying to get past the damaged car, the 20 of Karthik Pai right now.
Yeah, he is, and you can see, though, it's the inside for the driver of Madden. He'll look to try and exploit it. They go side by side. Inside then comes for Pai, but he doesn't have the speed of the apex. Therefore, the position will go to Jonathan Madden then, as he looks to try and use the slope downhill to get himself back up the hill again. And that is something that will be playing in the driver's minds. And you can see here just how important it is of drivers here who started themselves in the top 10 right now. When they last crossed the line, only 5 drivers were actually, well, 6 drivers even, inside the top 10. Souza's up an amazing 15 positions already, and we've only had 8 minutes of racing here. 1/4's distance will be score complete, and battle for the race lead once again here, as down the inside, around the outside even, tries vRunoffs.
Yeah, we've got a really, really good battle going on here. The top 3 have really set themselves apart now. Battle down into 10. All 3 are going to stay in line. You've got Aero Noom, Dominic Brennan, and Danil Menenkov there. And they have they've broken away by about 4 seconds now. So they have really started to open things up on the rest of the field. Jason Perry back and forth. Yannick Chauvin, Bob Battaglia, top 6. Battling it out.
Yeah, they are right now, and you can see Chauvin wants a piece of the action, might think about going down to the inside. He won't. Jason Perry can't do anything about it here. Well, actually, he can, as he's there ahead, and he's just held off that defense then. And he's doing a good job of things right now. He's in 4th position, but they know now they're not closing here on the leaders now, and they are fighting for a different race altogether. And now it's about evaluating who are my rivals, who am I battling. Sebastian Raymond, Paul Lindsay, Kartik Pai starting to drop a little bit here. That's a battle for 11th, 12th, 13th going on. And you can see Pepe Vasquez Martinez trying to get onto the back. Pai now trying to make the move on Lindsay.
Yeah, and Chauvin trying we were riding on board with him. He was trying to catch Spider-Man there up in front of him. Jason Perry in the Spidey seat today.
Yeah, he certainly is here, and he just isn't close enough here to try and make that move. He will get the draft, and the draft seems to be so effective in terms of bringing people back in. There have been some big casualties throughout this race, though. The likes of Fraser Williamson, Wyatt Gooden here, Evan Merrill here, drivers you're all expected to be up at the front and fighting for the victory, not there. Perry now will come under threat. Chauvin then will look to go to the outside, try and use the inside then for the next part of the corner. He gets it done before there's anything to go on right now. Nom holds the lead, though, once again right now, as Brennan seems to be going there. And actually what I'm noticing here is Menenkov now isn't being aggressive. He isn't wanting to get to the front of the field. He's staying and he's waiting right now, as he pretty much has every right to do right now, down to the inside for the race lead now. The 2-on-2 wants it.
Yeah, and Brennan not being patient. He wants it now. They're getting to lap traffic here. The first lap car they're going to see here, it's going to be Keith Finlay up in front of them there. He resides in 38th place at the second. And looks like they might catch him in a good spot here, and everybody should be able to get around without too much trouble. We'll see.
We certainly will. You can see here just how it's holding things up. They can't do anything up the hill, and now it's about who gets the best run out of the corner. Now he'll move out of the way, then let the leading train of 3 go past here. As you can see, he's hugged on the inside, but he's not actually slowing down enough. Now he finally does, as he knows the apex is coming up. And you can see right now here, a little bit of a worry there for Dominic Brennan. He's now on the front of the train then, heading towards the final lap, and I wouldn't want to be on the front of that train heading down to the final corner on the final lap here, Sean. It just seems the drop is so effective, and Finley off behind then, and really showing here that there is a lot of struggling going on with these tyres. They're still probably not up to temperature the way that some drivers would like.
Jason Perry back on the attack here for position with Yannick Chauvin. The leaders battling up into turn 10 and then the 10A. All 3 stay together just behind them, the second 3. Give it to Bob Batalla. Stays in 4th. Let's go back to 11th. Got a battle going on back here in the field.
I mean, you can certainly see how everyone's working in this middle pack right now. A little bit disrupted there. Claudio Ferrari said he could be a driver who can make inroads. He's plus 10 plus right now. You can see that is Pepe Vasquez Martinez, who's made all the inroads to get them back to the front of that group. Lindsay trying to challenge here. Kartik Pai as well, then on the back, a little bit wounded right now, looking to get through into turn number 1. Not going to be a place where many people are going to be brave enough to make that move. To see momentum corner it is as they look to try and get that here. And Sean, I just can't help but wondering right now, these packs in the middle, they're all starting to worry a little bit here. They're starting to think about the short term and not the long term, and especially when you got 2-3 cars and you know you can't break away from them, you've got to play long term here, and that's the problem that drivers are facing right now.
Yeah, Paul Lindsay stuck in the middle right now of this pack. Now just behind Paul, Kartik Pai, we talked about him. That car's got a lot of damage on the rear end of it. Still seems to have pretty good speed.
Yeah, it does, and the only thing that will be really affecting it is the form of its straight line speed in terms of its drag, and of course downforce will be a little bit of an issue. Maybe he's not as quick as he'd want to as he runs a little bit wide coming out of the corner, but you can see right now just how far away that Pepe Vasquez Martinez is pulled away from that one right now. As you see right now, Kartik Pai trying everything to get onto the back of Paul Lindsay, and he's just not closing the gap how other drivers would close it.
Our leaders starting to catch a little bit more traffic here down the front straight across the start-finish line. Gary Wolbolt gets to the side, lets everybody get by there clean. It's going to be Earl Nam down into turn 1, your leader. Dominic Brennan in second. Danil Menenkov in third.
Yeah, it certainly is at the moment, and well, it's a case of looking at Daniel Menenkov right now. He seems to be the unknown factor in this train here. Norm and Brennan are trying to work together to change positions, but Menenkov can just sit behind and wait until a better opportunity happens later on in the race. You can see he heads himself through this big left-hander then, looking to get yourself back up then going forward. And that turn there, turn number 6, it's so difficult there at Road Atlanta. You're coming up the hill, you're getting yourself a little bit off camber, you've got a heavy curb on the right hand side that everyone tries to use for time advantage, and you know, it's very unsettling on the car here, Sean, and that could be one of the big key issues here today, which causes drivers to have a lot of problems and spear into the inside or outside walls.
Well, Jake, we just fell under 25 minutes left to go in this race, and man, if you find yourself back 10, 15 seconds behind the leaders, you really better get busy at this point and try and find some pace. But going to be a hard thing to ask if you've already fallen 10 seconds behind the field. Right now, your top 14 remain within 10 seconds of our leader, Dominic Brennan. But as we're starting to see here, kind of hard to make up any ground on the leaders when they just keep racing like they are right now.
I'll correct you and say they're within 24 seconds right now, and it's so difficult to make that ground because the drivers who are at the front have got the ability to slipstream right now, and there's been an issue for Dudek there. Ronnie Dudek coming out of 7th position, then finds himself then having to go to the lane. A big accident, and actually that seems really weird here. He hasn't done anything too off-putting there, and that looks technical to my opinion.
Yeah, looking here on the replays, boy, that Jake, I'm with you. I think something might have let go on him there at some sort of a technical issue.
Yeah, certainly has. We've just seen a car go off in the form of Michael Groom. Lap traffic there just in front of everyone they're going through. But technical issues, they do happen. Everyone's got to try and run the same thing. The technical issue is pretty much the same as, say, an engine blow up in a real-world car. That's the sort of difficulty that you cannot prepare for. It sometimes happens, it sometimes doesn't. Pulling off to the side, it's a shame. He was running in 7th.
All hopes dashed in an instant like that. That is a shame indeed. You know, we talked about Paul Lindsay a little bit ago, the Canadian driver, the number 103. He is up 15 spots, currently finds himself up in 9th. He was in that battle there with Catharic Pi and Claudio Ferrari. They're still with him. But nice effort so far there by the Canadian.
Yeah, there's certainly been quite a few efforts of driving going through the field. I mean, I want to point out the 79 machine right now as Kartik Pai then will look to go down the inside, looking at 9th position. Let's go 3 wide down into turn number 10A. And you can see there, Pai's got absolutely nothing as Claudio Ferrari storms past then into 9th position on his mega drive up through the field. I did want to bring up Flavio Santurnio right now. Started the day in 36th position, up to P14 and plus now as he's fighting with Tim Seidel right now here, looking to move forward here. Seidel's made the position, so everyone making moves, everyone needing to make moves, and everyone having some pretty good results.
Yeah, Flavio almost looking like he's maybe being held up a little bit. Flavio on the charge, having a great run. That is impressive. He's still knocking him down. James King just behind him there, a couple of spots in 17th. The number 12 is up 18 spots, having a solid effort here today. The UK&I driver is on the charge, and so we've still got several drivers here that got an outside chance of maybe looking their way back into the top 10.
Yeah, they certainly do, and they'll be relying on a little bit of fortune here for a certain few others right now. I've been seeing just how aggressive that turn number 6 corner is really being played right now, and the answer is very, if you look at Kartik Pai right now, because he was all over the gravel just trying to get that run as well as he can. Now tucks into the toe on his long back straight, and now look at this, weaving starting to happen here. Ferrari's having absolutely none of this toe. He wants to break it as much as he can to make life completely difficult then for the likes of Pai and Lindsay behind, and Lindsay's closing on Pai right now. You can see the games that are being played, mind games here. There's no one-line change all in this series. We're not playing FIA rules, we're playing by the rules of the road, and the rules of the road says I'm changing as many directions as I want.
Now the leaders are coming up on Michael Groom, who just came out of the pits, and they're going to catch him coming down the hill. Not a good spot there. Groom has to pull off into the grass. That was awful close. Like I said, Groom was coming out of the pit trying to get up the hill out of turn 1 there. The leaders got by, and Groom pulls off in the grass very wisely to not to catch himself up with the leaders, but they all make it by. They also had to get by Edward Daugherty there and do. Your top 3, though, still remain Dominic Brennan, Aaron Noem, Danil Menenkov, with just under 20 minutes to go, and just behind them, Edward Daugherty goes off the track, hits hard, takes the toe into the pit.
Yeah, not what he wanted either, and well, that seems to be a case, and now Menenkov wants a piece of the action here, as it seems that Brennan's managed to get himself away. Menenkov then on the outside, nobody getting the big advantage of toe right now, but Menenkov gets the run. Nom made a mistake, and that's enough to drop him back to 3rd, and now they've got to do a little bit of work here because the gap's opened up a little bit here to Dominic Brennan. Half distance score complete at the end of this lap, and now Menenkov started to think, you know, how close can I be here? Do I have a shot at this victory? And now he finds himself in the sandwich, arguably the best and the worst position to be in this race.
Yeah, the battle for 6th is, the battle for 4th is still very intense back here. Bob Battaglia, Jason Perry, Yannick Chauvin still going at it. Chauvin right up on Jason Perry right now, and those two have been battling back and forth here for about the last 2 or 3 laps, give and take every lap. I think, honestly, they're just kind of playing with each other, really setting up for the last couple minutes of this race.
Yeah, they certainly are, but the problem they've got is they're dropping 0.7 of a second to Bob Battalla there in 4th position, and Battalla will try and break away, and now that they've realised that Chauvin and also the driver of Perry, they need to work together now to get back onto the back of Battalla here to get this fight for 4th, 5th, 6th working out for them. It's not working at the moment, so they need to work together right now here in terms of this battle, otherwise it might not work for them in the long run.
You know, Madden, I don't want to forget about Jonathan Madden. He was up running with these guys here just 10 minutes ago and then had a little bit of an issue, and he's back on it now, back up to 7th, running some pretty hot laps right now, Jake. He finds himself 8 seconds behind that battle of the 3 there, Battalla, Perry, and Chauvin. Wonder if he can catch him.
To the race lead.
Oh, Menekov up to the lead.
Yeah, we've just seen that pass happen there. I will go back onto your point there. Daniel Manenkov for the first time then takes the race lead in this event. He's had enough of waiting. He wants to get forward. But yeah, you are saying there that John Madden is putting a good turn of pace right now. He is running lap times very similar to the leaders right now, as actually Brennan's going to have none of it. He's going to go back then to the inside, and Manenkov's going to say, well, you know what? Here, take it. I'll just try and have another go later on in this event down into that section. That final 10A, 10B, that's going to be so crucial on the run coming towards the line.
Oh, big trouble. I'm sorry, not Bob Battalla, but yes, it was Bob Battalla. Gets off the track there in turn 3. Chauvin able to avoid him and get around. Had my finger on the wrong button there, Jake.
I just thought you were completely awestruck by the mistake that he made there. I mean, it seemed all but certain that he was going to find the tyres, but in the end, he catches the vehicle, he gets himself back going, and in the end, he hasn't lost too much time from the back of this train. Now, Chauvin and Perry have to work together here in order to drop the driver of Battalla behind, but they have to remember here that the more they work, the more difficult it's going to be. Manenkov again to the outside here of Brennan.
Yeah, they're having fun for sure. Heading down into 10A here. Going to be another fight through 10A and 10B. But it's going to see Manenkov take the lead. Can he hold on to it here down the hill? Brennan going to try and take it away. Not close enough. Give this lap to Manenkov. Brennan, no. Not for long. Just over 15 minutes to go. Things are heating up.
They certainly are, but they've all got to pace themselves right now. It's all right trading positions because they know that their pace is better than Perry and Chauvin behind. They were half a second quicker that last time by. That wasn't even the quickest lap times we've seen those drivers do. So, you know, there is still a potential here of pace and fighting to go on. As you can see, though, this second little pack here, or this third little pack here, you should say, the one with Kartik Pai, Paul Lindsay in right now. Claudio Ferrari then trying to get involved. He'll look down the inside of turn number 1 at Paul Lindsay, and they get close to each other here as Lindsay will get completely hung out to dry. Kartik Pai now will take the advantage as there's a big wiggle off the exit. Pai then gets himself back then into the top 10 right now, and they're coming up on traffic once again here, Sean, and that traffic is that driver there of Michael Groom.
Yeah, that is a good battle. It's the story of the packs of 3 today. 3 seem to be a good pairing on this track.
Yeah, it certainly is right now, as we've just seen Philippe Chauvin run into issues then on that last lap. He was running incredibly high up then in the field as he then gets himself down onto the lane for a fast repair. But, you know, everyone's battling here. Everyone knows what they've got to try and fight with right now. And now it's about realizing what is the best result for everyone and where everyone is going to stand in all of it. Julien Chauvin here in 12th position. He knows that if they start fighting ahead of them with Pai Ferrari and also the driver of Paul Lindsay, you know, he might get the piece of the pie at the end of the day, will Chauvin, if he can get himself and close down that 3.5 second gap.
Yeah, we saw Philippe Chauvin there on screen on the replay there coming into the pit. That car, really heavy damage. Hey, quick update, though, on Yannick Chauvin and Jason Perry. They've opened things up on Battalla. Battalla back just over 2.5 seconds now. So, and Battalla back there struggling as Battalla's off. At the top of the hill, Battalla goes off the track.
He's had issues there already here this evening, but he gets himself back going again. So Bob Battalla then struggling there coming out of turn number 3. It is a difficult corner. You are trying to attack the curb, and he comes into corner. He's lost it coming in. He's slightly missed the apex there, carrying too much speed in the car. Always wanted to turn on him. He's lucky he hasn't clipped any form of barrier, so he can get himself on his merry way, but his tyres must be red and smoking.
Yeah, add angry to the list of things his tires are at him right now. The leaders coming up on Telmo Almoral, and Almoral gets out of the way, and we head down into 10A. Medikov battling Aeronome, gets left behind as they head up the hill. Brennan Medikov going to have to give this lap to Medikov. It looks like he's going to hang on to it across the line. Here it comes Brennan. Going to take the inside down into 1.
And going to take it by the looks of things as well. There's nothing really that Menenkov can do about that. He did the run that he needed to do. He can use that as a practice that he beat the man to the line by just a shade under a tenth of a second. Nom pretty much left then on his own right now and starting to fall back a little bit there. 4/10 the difference as they last cross the line. Nom is struggling here in this latter pace here, this latter half of the race, and that's going to be something that's playing into the minds here, the Team Bushfink driver right now. We know he's incredibly quick. We know he's got the ability to race and win very, very key and strong events, but right now he's under a lot of pressure here, and if he falls off the back, he knows the best he can do is third.
Got some pretty great drivers in front of him. It's going to be he can get there, but can he pass him? It's going to be tough. No, I'm going to be in this thing to the end. Your top 3 have pretty much been together since the green flag dropped, and putting on quite a show here for us today. But things are winding down. I'm a little over 11 minutes, probably about 7 or 8 laps left to go. Every one of them at a premium now. We head down into 10A once again.
No changes though.
Yeah, no changes. Menenkov been pretty good hanging on to it up front. I think Brennan just being patient at this point. Still time left, and obviously it's going to come down to that last lap. At this point, I really think that's what we'll see is a last lap pass, some sort of move to get it done there. And here comes Aeronome now. He's back to the battle.
Yeah, he is. Nom's back onto the battle here, and the problem that Nom's got is actually the problem that Brennan had was he had to back out of it coming into turn number 1. He wasn't confident in making that move down to the inside. That allowed Nom back onto the back of the group. The difference between that lap and the last one, next to nothing in terms of time for Nom, but Nom got onto the back that time instead of falling away through that situation here. And as you look then, they head through 6, looking for 7, looking for 8. You know, you're seeing the situation here where Dominic Brennan then, just waiting in the middle, needs to be in position. And now I'm starting to think here, maybe you'll see drivers deliberately backing out of moves here in the last 10 minutes to get themselves track position for the run on the final lap.
And Bob Battalla has fallen back to 7th, and Sebastian Raymond catching up to him here really quick. Sebastian, the winner here last season, back I think that was in August, he won here the Weekend Warriors Series, SRF Weekend Warriors Series. So Sebastian, no stranger to finding victory lane, still awful fast and trying to pick up another position here.
Yeah, he certainly is, and well, you know, you're looking at likes of Bob Battali, gets himself through then on Sebastian Raymond here, who is there in 8th position now, having that scrap. You know, you're all looking to try and scrap, you're all looking to try and find that position here, and now you're seeing here just how important that draft is. You can see he bump drafts him, does Raymond here coming down the straight. He doesn't want anything of an overtake right now. He just wants to sit and wait until that last minute goes, that white flag comes out, and that ability to make that move becomes apparent here as they all look and scrap right now here, as they all look to go into the final 9 minutes of the event.
Yeah, Jonathan Madden finds himself up there in 6th, all by himself, and you know, a little work by Battalla and Raymond. They might be able to find their way back to him, but right now the lap time's very comparable. They're just about 0.3 quicker. So Jonathan Madden doing a good job of hanging on to 6th, all by himself on track there.
Yeah, he certainly is, and I don't think Batalla and Raymond have a sniff of a chance unless there's a mistake that's going to happen between them right now. I think the look that you got to see here is Manenkov runs wide. Number 8 heads themselves now on the run, look to try and get themselves through. Dominic Brennan now in a 2-1-2 gets himself behind and now moves to the outside and will have the run then coming through then as they're going to go side by side. I think the problem that's going to be happening here is drivers aren't going to be able to close right now here in these situations. As you can see, it's still going on, still happening right now, and you can still see Manenkov trying to hold on to it then down the inside, and he will get himself side by side onto the brakes and he will hold the position.
Starting to wonder if Danila is going to be willing to give that up at any point. We see a little bit of fun here, within the race, but on that final lap, is he going to be willing to give? I don't think so. It's been a good race so far. A lot of give and take here between these three, but the last lap I expect is going to get pretty dodgy.
Yeah, it is going to get dicey, you could say here, and everyone's going to be now looking around themselves thinking, where is my next challenge going to be? And that is going to be something that is going to be playing in the minds of certain drivers right now. I mean, you can see there are certain battles going on, the likes of Bernardo and Follett right now, who started 26th and 32nd respectively. They're now up to 14th and 15th position. You know, they've made some great inroads. There's some drivers who just kept their noses clean, haven't been the quickest of drivers, but, you know, because they've stayed on circuit and haven't run into incidents, they are there and they are fighting and they are going to get some pretty decent results coming out to the end of the day. So, you know, everyone is looking at this one thinking, you know, what positives can I take? And quite a few people taking quite a few positives here, Sean.
Hey, good battle back here for 16th place. Flavio Satorino and Rob Fears trading a little paint, having a little bit of fun. They just get across the start-finish line. Give that to Flavio Satorino, but Fear's going to make a charge to the inside, heading into 1. Going to try and take him up the hill here.
And hopefully no tears for Fears then as he looks to head through 2 and now looking at towards turn number 3 here, and he plants the car on the apex and says, thank you very much, that position will be mine. Santurnino can't get close enough, and that's something that might start playing into the minds right now. Side by side again though for the lead with 6 minutes and under to go. Brennan to the inside then, and he wants to dictate pace. Manenkov will try and hold it around the outside. He can't do it. Nom now sits in the driver's seat waiting here as the perfect passenger right now, as he'll look to get the perfect run as they head towards the final lap in about 3 or 4 laps time. Big wiggle though from Manenkov out of 3.
What a great battle on track. There's still a lot of battles going on throughout the field, to be honest with you. We got to keep an eye on the leaders, but the battle for 10th place really on, for 9th. Julian Chauvin just took it away there from Paul Lindsay and Catharic Pie. That battle just not giving up there. The fight for the top 10 is real.
Yeah, it certainly is right now, and the likes of Kartik Pai right now, they all look around themselves. You can see Pai not close enough at the moment here, but he's stuck on the back with damage, and that's been his problem all race long. He's had to adapt to that damage that he's had on that vehicle, and he's done very well. We said these vehicles quite sturdy here, and he's certainly doing very well with what he has to deal with right now. Maybe a little bit more difficult as things currently stand, but you know, everyone's looking around themselves thinking, where is that battle coming from? And Chauvin right now sees that battle, and he sees he's side by side in the battle for 4th right now. Here comes Jason Perry down the inside. They're trading positions here, and I think there's going to be a willingness to let people go through then and try and hold themselves to the front of packs as they head towards those final laps, those final moments. We're down to under 4 minutes right now. Well, to 4 minutes, 20 seconds, 4 minutes exactly. So, you know, 3 laps of this race to go. Anyone's call.
Yeah, and let's get back to the front because it's getting intense. And now Brennan is back up front. Manenkov made a mistake for the first time today, getting off of turn 11, and the car got off track a little bit. Allows Brennan to get around, and now Brennan up to the lead. They're coming up on the lap car right now of Steve O'Malley. O'Malley going to have to get out of the way here as they come by down into the right-hander.
Yeah, they certainly are, and the 500 knows that he needs to get out of the way. He'll probably get caught down on that back straight. You could see the difference as they just take that apex with a lot more confidence, and there's the difference again. You could see he was on the inside of the corner, turning it to out, where you really need to go out to into out on apexes. That's where O'Malley was struggling there as he tried to flatline that apex, which you really can't do. Nom now dropping off the back here as Menenkov now will need to try and make a position. Nom now in trouble of losing the back of this train with just so little time to go. Something that he can ill afford. Menenkov then looking at this one, and he will get the position here as Brennan now tucks back into the line, looking to maybe try and get himself back through, but Nom will now get himself back onto the back of this one, using the braking to his advantage. As Brennan has to lift off a little bit more because he was tucked right under the rear of Menenkov there. So Menenkov now being the bottleneck with just 2 laps to go.
Yeah, and Nom sitting back there still seems to have a little bit of trouble catching him, but now they split up. Now Nom starts to make up a little bit of ground. He's going to need all the help he can get to get into this battle. Menenkov back to the lead.
I mean, ideally here, Nom needs to be second in this train. He doesn't want to be third. It's too much. And Menenkov all over the curb and struggling. And here comes Brennan then, looking to try and go around the outside of the S's then, head up for 6. And well, now it's going to be a game of pickup sticks here as they all look to try and jostle and jive through the corners here. They keep it line astern for the moment here, but I have this sneaking suspicion that Nom has been waiting for this moment. It almost fell away from him last lap. Now it's starting to fall more into his favor.
Yes, it is, and when we get across this start-finish line next time, it's going to be 1 to go. We'll get the white flag this time by. Here we go. The fight is on. Menenkov going to try and hang on to it here for about another lap and a half. But like you said, Aero Nom's got himself in a perfect position to strike here any second.
Yeah,
Don't want to make the move. Don't want to make the move too early.
Well, look who's making the move now. Dominic Brennan
Yeah.
to the outside. He wants to dictate pace then from the front of this field. And, well, Menenkov's going to happily let him go right now. Might decide to throw him back down the inside. He doesn't. Nom's not been close enough here. He needs to make a move on Menenkov now, or he's going to need to make a move on Menenkov later here. They're going to round themselves the final corners here. Turns 11 and 12 here. It's down the hill. It's right-hander. You're pushing it at the pace you can. 110 miles an hour. Timer on the clock says, hello, 1 lap to go.
They're running out of time. Absolutely running out of time. Chauvin and Perry still back here battling for 4th and 5th. That is not decided. Stay on the leaders.
Oh, he's all out of shape there. Is Brennan coming through the turn number 3? Nothing Menenkov can do about it. He's just got to sit and wait there, Sean.
It's just waiting is the hardest thing to do. Oh, lap traffic getting to the side as they come up the hill.
Nom's too far back in my opinion. He's not going to be close enough here, and he needs a mega run coming out of this next right-hander here. And I don't think Nom's going to do it if he tries to push the boat out here. He's got half a chance though here. This is the chance that Nom needs. This is the chance that Menenkov needs.
Well, this is the last chance to get a great run. Can Nom do it? I think maybe he has lost it just a little bit. We're going to see. He's going to have to outbrake these guys getting down the hill. Menenkov coming up down on the inside.
But here comes Nom.
Oh, and he's going to follow Menenkov. Aero Nom side by side with Dominic Brennan. Almost made contact. Now they make contact. It's going to be Menenkov, though, screaming down the hill, through the right-hander, across the line. Menenkov, the winner today in the SRF Big Grid. Aero Nom going to take second by just, they were dead. They were dead heat across the line. Dominic Brennan, Yannick Chauvin.
Yeah, Chauvin side by side with Perry. Perry loses out in the end on that one here. And we still got battles. Batala and Raymond. Raymond going to go for the up and under then in a 27. He's got the inside and he'll pretty much sign that one and secure it then as they head to the final corner. Some great battles as they head to the line.
Not settled yet. Still build cars all over this track trying to make their way in to the start-finish line. Trying to see if there's still anybody battling here for position. James King, Flavio Sottorino, we were watching that one before.
King looks damaged in my opinion there. He's not going to be able to challenge that one going through. He was 11th. As you can see, he's dropped about, in my opinion, about 15 seconds in this lap there. Not exactly what he wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, he had him out of the turn there and then lost pace to him there on the long straight, obviously. Wow, what a finish there, though, up front. That finish between Num and Brennan, both of them in a dead heat across the line. They're going to give it to Num.
Yeah, 0.03 of a second says Nom's the better man, but, you know, Dominic Brennan, he was in that position where he was at the front of the train. We said it was going to be difficult to hold people off from the front, and he just tried to make that move and tried to hold everyone off. In the end, it didn't work for him there. And you saw Erunom even, and he was close, but, you know, he needed to be a little bit closer if he wanted to take that victory there. Manenkov had the run, he threw the block, and he did everything he needs to do, and he's a well-deserved winner, is the 476.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, that was we couldn't have scripted a better finish to that. We're going to take a quick here, pay a couple bills. We'll be back to wrap things up here for the Week 13 SRF Big Grid race here today on Global Sim Racing Channel and iRacing Live. See you in a few. And welcome back to the Global Sim Racing channel on iRacing Live for the SRF Big Grid Challenge here, week 13. Great race today. Big winner, Danil Menenkov there. The Michigan driver gets the win today. And Aeronom going to come home second. Dominic Brennan third. Yannick Chauvin from France, he's going to finish fourth today. Fifth going to Jason Perry. Jonathan Madden going to finish sixth. Seventh, give it to Sebastian Raymond, former winner here in the Spec Racer Ford. Bob Batalla, 8th. 9th, Julian Chauvin. And 10th, Karthik Pai, the Texas driver, with a good run today, up 8 spots.
Certainly has been, and well, you can see here moving on forward here, 11th position overall. We'll go to the driver there of Francesco Bernardo there. Sammy Follett then, a great drive from him, up 20 positions to 12th, with Rob Fears 13th and Flavio Saturnino even from 36th to 14th plus 22. James King then will finish 15th with Claudio Ferrari 16th. Don Brooks then finishing 17th with Steve Ray, struggling with the back but still made himself some great inroads to 18th, the last of the cars on the lead lap, with the last cars on 19th and 20th then Steve O'Malley and Angelo Florino.
All right, 21st, give it to, I lost my spot. Darn it, Telmo Almaral, sorry about that. Tim Seidel going to finish 22nd. Travis Trussell, 23rd. Gary Wolbott, 24th. 25th, Paul Lindsay. Philip Chauvin, 26th. 27th, Michael Groom. David Streeter, 28th today. Keith Walsh, 29th. And Edward Doherty going to round out the top 30.
Yeah, and you're going to see here the drivers who are failing to finish then as they come towards the end of this one. Ronnie Dudek there in 31st, struggling with technical issues there, likes of Pepe Vasquez Martinez there in 32nd. Keith Finley and Christopher Orton, not the days they'd want. Clark Williams, you'd expect a little more out of Clark Williams. You'd expect him to be there inside the top 10, maybe top 5. Nicholas Souza, he made great inroads early on, got himself up to about 7th position. Issues for the 707 meant that his day was all but dashed. Alex Albert ran into issues, so did Brett Trozan. And look at two drivers here who really ran into issues today. Evan Merrill in the 24, Wyatt Gooden in the 17.
Yeah, and then we'll just take it here right to the end real quick. You've got 41st, Gary Kyle, Fraser Williamson, 42nd, 43rd, Felipe Farinelli, Mika Eshouse, 44th. Those two not starting the race, so technical issues might have bit them here trying to get in and get started. But great field today, and great battle there for first, second, and third there at the end, Jake. Aero Noom winds up finishing second today. Talk to him about that adventure there on the last lap.
Yes, of course, standing by with vRunoffs. Iru, a day for you where it all started to be a little bit congested in the early stages, shall we say. 7 cars all in a train, all getting close. Overtakes 2-3 wide in the opening laps. How scary is it inside that spec racer when you're trying to get yourself in and around and trying to fight for position?
Oh, it's very scary because it's so easy to lose the car and over the curbs. I was so scared all race.
So scared all race, but you found yourself in a position where it opened out a couple of incidents for Merrill and Madden, then a battle of the M's running into trouble. But for you, when that separated into that group of 3 and you were starting to play the games of chess here with the likes of Menenkov and also the driver of what was going to be Dominic Brennan, you find yourself there in 3rd position for the most parts of that race. And, was it a case of waiting for that last lap as the drivers traded places in front of you?
Yeah, definitely. I was waiting for the last lap because in 3rd place I got very good run, but unfortunately the last lap there was lap traffic and first 2 cars were able to attempt, so didn't have enough in the end.
Didn't in the end, but you managed to steal second by a few thousandths of a second, 3 of them to be precise. And well, for you, 2nd place, you've got to be happy with that on week 13. Generally the fun week, as we say on the iRacing service. But for you, moving forward, then you got, of course, next a lot going on in terms of other leagues that you're running, in terms of official series plans that you may have with Bushfink. What's your plans coming in then for the next season, or where do you see yourself then looking to really push in terms of title pictures and here and there?
Definitely. Yeah, I'm mostly racing only league races, and now the Skippy ABL is starting in a few minutes, so it's busy.
Certainly is. Well, we're going to let you loose then after that. But before you do get let loose then, is there anyone you'd like to thank? Any sponsors? Anyone that you'd like to thank? Your mum, your dad, your cat, this, that and the other?
Yeah, I would like to thank my team and organizers for organizing this race. It's fun.
Certainly has been. vRunoffs then second position, steals it by 0.003 of a second then that second place, and he's done a very good job of things. Sean, you know, this is one of those races that everyone enjoys. It's a lot of fun, and we saw coming towards the end of that race, everyone was just trying to wait and wait and wait, and we saw 15 minutes of, you know, tactics, mind games, and that sort of racing. You know, some people don't like seeing it, some people do, and I think that today was a very good example of how it was a battle of brains more than a battle of speed.
Yeah, it really was. It was learning a little bit about the driver in front of you and waiting for that opportunity to outsmart him to the turn, to the line, and you know, the end right across the line. The battle there at the end, proof positive of what you just talked about there. What a great race today! A lot of fun. We'll see you again for the next SRF Big Grid race coming up in about 14 more weeks. So until then, we've got plenty of people to thanks here. We want to thank Steve Ray, though, for organizing this event and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. We certainly hope he gets to feel a little bit better here soon. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen now that we use on our broadcast. The original music you've heard on today's broadcast is thanks to Erica Colm and Casey Lalonde. See the screen for how to contact each of them. I want to thank my mic mate today, Jake Sperry, our director, Joe Peak, Dougie Beard for his camera locations. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, your best bet is globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel, and you can also find us at Facebook /Global Sim Racing Channel. And now that the general housekeeping is out of the way, it's well, folks, it's time for me to put a lock on the gate. And thanks again, Jake. We appreciate you hanging out with us today, and we're going to get out of here for now, though. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.